Well, hey Caleb, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's a Wednesday, so
It is.
week half over. That's good.
It's butt day.
Heard you're it. Yeah, it's butt or hump day, depending on who you subscribe to. Heard you had a little bit of an adventure this morning.
Yeah. So I just recently sold my home of 28 years and have moved into a new place. I've been here about a month and a half now, which is great. But we just the paperwork was just signed yesterday for the sale of our old house, and of course, there's like a doomsday clock scenario where, like, it's the end of the business day and there's some kind of problem that one of
Did you say doomsday clock scenario?
yeah. It's like one of those moments, like, I thought of like the Watchmen and how like the doomsday clock has moved to 11:59.
Spit out my fucking coffee, dude.
Yeah.
That's a totally accurate description of what house selling stuff can be like. Absolutely.
Oh Lord, yeah. And it was
Holy
the dumbest
shit.
of all things. It's like the thermostat isn't working, and we're gonna hold the money of the sale of your home since it happened today and release it until this is resolved. And it's like I had never had a problem with the thermostat, like, ever. And so after I spent like probably an hour and a half last night trying to deal with it, and then had to end up calling an electrician to be there this morning. And after all of that, dude, it was literally, have you tried turning it off and then turning it back on again?
That's the first thing you do. That's tech
No,
support
but see,
101, man.
here's the
Come on.
secret thing. Oh, and I know. That was the first thing that I did. I went to the circuit panel, turned it off. There's a little emergency, or like not safety or something. I don't know what it is, but there's like literally like a light switch that turns power on and off on the furnace itself. So I flipped that. I checked everything. Everything's looking great. It just, the thermostat was not getting power. So it's like, great. Did somebody, like when the painter went to paint the wall and he removed it, did he put it back on wrong? Did it short something out? I have no idea. So the electrician comes and looks at it and he goes, so you weren't getting power to the unit. You have another circuit panel dedicated just to the furnace. I'm like, I what?
It's a super secret panel that just does this for no reason.
Literally. And he goes, it looks like it was on, but somehow when you guys were moving, somebody may have bumped it and it just was off just enough that it looked like it was on, but it wasn't. He goes, I literally just pushed it in all the way and everything worked immediately like it had. But so it's like I had to pay this dude, which I'm glad to have paid it because I would never have figured that out. But it just, on like a cosmic level, it irks me that I had to pay somebody $100 to come flip a switch and just turn the fucking thing on. It drives me insane.
So for all you kids out there that aren't college ready, I suggest go into a trade where you can charge people like Caleb and myself hundreds of dollars to flip a switch.
That's absolutely
it's a pretty
true.
good, pretty good trade to be in. Pretty good business to be in, I think.
I'm ready to forget this whole thing and move on. Right. So
speaking of flipping a switch, what do you know about Japanese vending machines, Caleb? Welcome to Distracto!
Distracto.
Hey kids, welcome to Distracto. It's Wednesday. I know what that means. It's Distracto, your dose of distraction from the Daily Dumpster Fire. I'm Brian.
And I'm Caleb.
I hope you're having a great week so far. We're here to make it hopefully a little bit better, or at least maybe distract you from the things that aren't making it a little bit better.
Like furnaces.
Yeah. So, vending machines. What do you know about vending machines, Caleb? Do you love them? Do you use them? Are you a fan?
So I'm a big fan of the push cart vending machine at O'Hare Airport.
Oh, for the luggage, you mean?
Yes, because whenever I go, because I'm traveling for cons most of the time, I have like,
is that a vending machine or is it just a row of carts that you put a quarter in?
Is it a machine? Yes. Does it dispense things when I put money into it? Yes. I call it a vending machine.
I think it's more like a cart prison that you pay once to free one prisoner at a time. For a short amount of
time. Okay. I mean, you could look at it that way. I've never,
because it's kind of like the thing at Aldi. At Aldi, you put a quarter and you get your shopping cart, and you have to have a quarter on you, and it's 2026 and nobody carries a quarter on them.
Except these are like, like it's like droids. It's like rent a droid, but you still have to make it
Yeah.
work for you. So but
Dude, Star Wars Land at Disney is missing a huge opportunity right now. Are you kidding me?
right, rent a droid.
Dude, to carry all your shit. Imagine you come with kids and you got like all that stuff you got to bring with you, like your diaper bag and bottles and whatever. I mean, have a droid cart that you can rent. Fuck yeah, dude, that'd be rad as hell. Are you kidding me?
Well, they already have those droids in certain cities that like deliver food. Like Chicago has them, like those little autonomous droids and stuff.
Little, not the Waymo. What are they called? Like the little, yeah, they have little eye cartoon eyes on them and stuff. We have some in Atlanta
like,
too. Yeah.
I think the last season of The Bear, they had one
Don't
that they
spoil
kind
it.
of
I haven't seen
they
it.
kind of kicked over, which was hilarious. It was like a stupid little droid. It was like like malfunctioning or something. Yeah.
I love those guys, man. They're so cute. They're just doing their job. They're out there living
Hey
their
man,
best life.
people
Come
have
on.
this, like xenophobia about these things. So, but to be fair, like those dogs that robot dogs that like you've seen, like they don't look like dogs, but they're like little four-legged walking.
What are they, like amiibo dogs
I mean,
or whatever they're
I don't
called,
know.
or something like
Amiibo,
that?
I think those are those things that you plug into your Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
uh,
shit.
to
Asiago? No, wait, that's
no.
cheese. I'm thinking of something else.
That's a Asiago droids. Yes,
Although an Asiago robot dog would be a dog that dispensed cheese would be pretty sweet, honestly. My dogs just consume cheese. They don't. Well, they dispense it, I guess, in an altered form later. But that's not, yeah. Never mind. I won't get
this
into
is
that.
whole separate cheese.
Apologies for all the cheese and dog poop talk. No, but vending machines, as you know, and I assume you've used them to, yeah, you get your colas, your snacks when you're on the go, when you're at like on the airport, like you said, when you're free in a cart droid, you want a snack.
I have been known to buy socks from vending machines in places.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I am going to specifically focus on the culture of vending machines in Japan, because I'm sure you've heard lots of urban legends and stories about how wild the machines are there. But
I've seen a few videos online of people like buying the most wild and outlandish things from a vending machine. Some things which are appropriate to discuss, others which are less appropriate.
we gonna get into them, Caleb. But first, let me give you a brief history. And this is something that I did not know. The first vending machine, according to my research, appeared in Egypt. All right, yeah, in Egypt over 2,000 years ago.
Egypt.
Yeah. And as you might guess, it dispensed Twinkies, as you do.
They've been around forever.
Yeah. No, it was a holy water dispenser. It was a holy water dispenser in front of a temple. I don't know. I didn't look deeply into where in Egypt this was. I'm sure I can add a postscript later. Then machines appeared again in the late 1800s, around the time of the Industrial Revolution in Britain. During this time, vending machines were starting to become a little bit more commonplace. They started evolving, becoming practical.
Wait. So we go from ancient Egypt and we don't see another vending machine until Britain.
Well, okay. I actually skipped ahead of my notes. Yeah, Egypt, and then there was the dark period because everyone was like, oh my God, we all just survive on holy water. There was an early coin-op machine that dispensed tobacco, and they were being operated as early as 1615.
See, now they have the ticket going, because as much as I am not a tobacco smoker, I really don't smoke weed or anything like that either. But I do love the aesthetic of a cigarette vending machine.
Yeah, well, these were frequently found in taverns in England.
Yeah, perfect.
And they were made of, they were portable and they were made of brass. And an English bookseller later in the 1800s, they kind of skipped around. I didn't find a whole lot about Egypt's success with this quote unquote vending machine, because I imagine it was like just a thing that made water come out. It wasn't like, this won't take my Egyptian dollar. This won't take my ibis drawing, and I have to get whatever.
Sorry, it keeps spitting the dollar back out. You got to fold it and like flatten it out, because it's like it does.
And then you're smited because you don't have your holy water, and like you pissed off Anubis or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Horus is not happy with you right now.
Horace is not pleased. So in the 1800s, a guy named Richard Carlisle devised a newspaper dispensing machine for the dissemination of banned works in 1822, which is pretty rad. And then also in the 1800s, a guy named Simon Denham was awarded a British patent patent number 706.
The developer of pants. Yeah, I mean, he made pants.
Yep, he denim. It's spelled differently, but yeah, denham. So these were pants made of ham. They were less popular than the current cotton ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, eventually he changed his name to Denim instead of Denham.
Yep.
And then his whole business model changed and took off.
Patent 705 for the ham pants was not awarded, but patent 706 for his stamp dispensing machine in 1867 was awarded to Mr. Denham.
Nice.
And this was considered the first fully automatic vending machine. Now, in the 1800s, they were also, again, I go back to the Industrial Revolution. So vending machines, they became practical for selling beverages, snacks, tickets, and cigarettes. So the core technology sort of developed at that time. And that kind of carried through to modern day vending machines as we know them today. And in the 1800s and 1890s specifically, the first one was introduced to Japan, and it dispensed sake, baby. Oh yeah.
Oh yes. See, now we're talking.
So what the description was basically when money was inserted, and I guess it was the yen they were using back in 1890. I'm assuming. I'd have to check that out. It was inserted a, quote, standard measure of sake poured out from a spout. So it was kind of like, I imagine, like a tap that you'd have at a bar, or a keg or something.
Right. And it just pours out a shot, of whatever.
I would imagine that you would have to provide your own cup or just raw dog the spout. Either way, pretty freaking cool, though.
I poured my hands, but I got to, it's hot sake.
Ah, shit, I forgot my cup for my sake. I'm just gonna get underneath this and go ham on it. So this was the first real working vending machine introduced in Japan in 1890. It is not, from what I could tell, still around today, but you can visit the oldest surviving vending machine from 1904. It was a stamp dispenser. So if you go to the Postal Museum of Japan, it's located in Tokyo, you can actually see this machine. So it was just a machine you can buy stamps. So it's a stamp dispensing vending machine. But that's pretty cool. So it's still presumably still working.
Basically, the equivalent of a label printer.
I would imagine, yeah, like a stamps.com sort of situation. Only old and timey and stamps,
and probably 9,000 pounds.
In the early 1900s and 1910s, machines in Japan started selling snacks that were prepackaged, and by the 1930s, the technology improved. So folks were really starting to go wild over these things, and they were starting to proliferate all through the country. But in 1962, a famous beverage company from the United States, Coca-Cola, which is a huge deal here in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Entered the Japanese market, and it came with a lot of new Coke-specific vending machines. So they sold both fountain style and bottled drink out of these machines, and it exploded.
Do you know how the fountain style worked? Was it like...
It was a garden hose that was just attached to a vat of Coke. And what you do, you just put your thumb over it and spray it into your mouth. I imagine.
Good God. I'm just imagining the most unsanitary things right now.
I'm going to look it up. I didn't deep dive into because I spent so much time on the history of cruise ships last time. I didn't want to bore anybody, but I imagine it was like the shot of sake, sort of on that principle, where you would have a certain number of ounces that you'd fill up a glass with, or it came with a cup or something that you would.
Right.
I don't quote me on that, Coca-Cola. I will research this and maybe add an addendum to
similarly to what we would think of now as fountain drink machines.
Yeah.
Just pop your cup in, it dispenses.
That like at the movie theater, only you don't have 900 different flavor combinations because it's the 60s, so you just have Coke.
Right. Yeah, you had Coke. You have one option and you like it.
Yeah, not cocaine. I don't think they were still making it with cocaine in 1962, but I could be wrong about that as well.
No, that's when they switched to methamphetamines.
Oh, right. That was new Coke, and nobody liked that as much. They went back to the old formula. I remember that was a big deal in the 80s. Do you remember those ads, or the 80s and 90s?
Oh, new Coke?
It was new Coke or Coke 2, and everyone was like, this sucks. Why would we want this?
And then, I don't remember what year it was, but then Pepsi had that really crazy Crystal Pepsi.
I tried Crystal Pepsi, and I'm not a Pepsi fan, but I thought it was really interesting. It blew my mind that a cola taste could come out of a clear beverage. As a teenager, I was like, this is crazy.
Right, which just lets you know that it's the caramel coloring. That it has nothing. The flavor does not come from that caramel color.
But when you're a teenager, you're like, man, it's science. This is crazy. This is witchcraft.
It's dude, it's like Sprite, but it's Pepsi.
I'll say, okay, for a cursory Google search, Coke 2 was introduced as New Coke in 1985. So I was a young lad. A sweeter, reformulated version of Coca-Cola designed to compete with Pepsi, because Pepsi is always kind of a little bit sweeter than Coke, as a lot of people say. As after massive consumer backlash, the original formula was quickly reinstated as Coca-Cola Classic when the new formula was rebranded as Coke 2 in 1992 before officially discontinuing it in 2002 is when they officially discontinued that. Holy shit.
That's wild.
That's way later than I thought.
So as I don't want to go off on a Coca-Cola rabbit trail here, but we could
spend a lot of time on Coca-Cola.
I do need to say that when I was in college, I had to read this book for my marketing class, and it was called The End of Marketing as We Know It. And it was written by the dude who invented Coke 2 and led the marketing campaign to promote it. And he is spinning that story of Coke 2's complete and abysmal failure as a success for Pepsi because it neutered Pepsi as a competitor. And so he goes, so even though they, which to me is just him marketing himself as I didn't lose.
So it was kind of just a massive fuck you to Pepsi. Like, look, we can make a sweet drink too.
Yeah. And when everybody went, hell no, we want regular Coke, then I believe, if I'm remembering properly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the original Coke formula, when they brought it back, so far outsold anything that Coke had been doing. It was like a massive landslide win for Coke. But
you know what? This could be a topic for a future episode because there are a lot of articles on the blunder that was Coke 2, which is interesting.
Yeah. So, and so to wrap up, speaking of blunders, which, because I want to learn more about these vending machines, I don't want to be talking about Pepsi and Coke. At least right now. But I remember going into a Walgreens a couple of years ago when they actually brought Crystal Pepsi back. It was back for
because they had a lot of the resurgence of like the retro, like they brought Surge back. I remember I bought Surge again because I used to live on that in college.
Oh yeah, Surge was fantastic. But they had
terrible for you. It was like drinking antifreeze.
Oh, I'm sure your insides glowed under a black light for sure. But they had a little cardboard display of it at the Walgreens, and so it had this giant sign on it that said Crystal Pepsi, but there wasn't a single bottle of Crystal Pepsi, and it was loaded with just all regular Pepsis. And I was just like looking at it like dumbfounded. Like the employees here had one job, and it was to put Crystal Pepsi in the Crystal Pepsi stand.
And they didn't do that.
Complete and utter failure. Yeah.
When they brought Zima back, I may be allegedly.
Oh God, they brought that back.
They did. This was several years ago. But I remember I didn't really start drinking like grown up alcohol until much later in my person career. So
you were like a Bartles and James dude for like most of your college.
I started off with ciders and stuff for beer. I didn't like the taste of it. I still to this day often drink like a sorority girl, and this is no shade on sorority girls, but I do like a sweet drink. If it looks like a party in a glass,
dude, you know me. I'm
a tiki guy. But if it looks like the bartender wants to shoot himself for having to make this thing, I'm gonna probably like it. Like if you put a glowworm in there and an LED light and a pinwheel, I'm gonna be all about it.
He's like looking at you, and he hands you your drink, and he whispers to you as he hands it to you. He goes, "Think of it as a Cosman, not a Cosmo."
Oh, I will officially. I will order the given name. In fact, my neighbor made a drink that she dubbed the Barbie Bukkake because it's a pink champagne flute that has prosecco and marshmallow fluff in it, and it basically continues.
Oh my God.
The effervescence continues to aerate the marshmallow fluff in it, so it looks like this glass is having a good old time of stuff. And she called it the Barbie Bukkake, and I really liked it a lot.
I think we need to have an official Distracto cocktail, and I think that might be.
You know what? I'll have my neighbor make. We're gonna when we start doing guests. I want to have her on because she's a fountain of cool cocktail mixology knowledge of stuff that she's designed and made up and experiments that she's done in her. And you've been to her bar before, Caleb. You know how stocked it is. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, Zima, they brought it back, and I tried it, and it took me back to high school. I'm like, yeah, me and the popular girls drinking Zima. Anyway, so the Coke really exploded the market for Japan. They went bananas for this shit. And they had it. Really took off. Obviously, Coca-Cola is a worldwide brand now, of course, but in the 60s, I mean, this was new to Japan. So by the 70s, the technology shifted again. So now vending machines can dispense both hot and cold beverages. So this expanded the market even more, and consumers, especially in Japan, ate it up. As of recent, as of I think it was 2024 was this thing. There are over 5.5 million vending machines in Japan, making it the country with the highest ratio of machines per person. It's one machine for every 23 people, and
Good
the
Lord.
second highest amount of actual machines next to the USA. And Japan is a very small country compared to the USA. That's a lot of vending
Sure.
machines for a very small place.
One for every 22 people, 23 people.
One
something
for
like
every
that.
20, one machine for every 23, but it's the highest ratio of machines per person, but the second highest amount of machines comparatively to the United States, which is crazy. And again, these are stats that I got in my searches. If someone has changed the stats or there's an update, please let me know. But yeah, so that I thought that was pretty interesting. I knew there were a lot, but I didn't know there were that many.
That's just wild. That's
It is crazy.
That's like Japan loves their automation, man.
They do, and that's kind of segues perfectly into the next bit. So why does Japan love vending machines so much? And like you said, convenience, low cost of running, the stability seems to be the main reasons why they invest in these vending machines. They mesh well with the fast-paced Japanese way of life. This is a country that relies heavily on their excellent public transportation systems. So I've heard, I've not been. It's on my list of places to go. This way, busy commuters have a way to purchase things effectively, efficiently, quickly while they're on the go. Another reason is that Japan is considered one of the safest countries in the world. So the threat of vandalizing and damaging these machines is like almost nil. Like they're very, so the maintenance is very low. So having them throughout the country isn't a security issue at all. You're not going to have to worry about them getting tipped over and knocked up as much as they would be here. And another reason is, obviously machines are just a place for commuters to get a quick bite, but there's been more to that, which I didn't know. I thought they were just cool things that you can get stuff out of, but apparently since 2005, they've been used for emergency services as well. So the vending machine industry in Japan has worked with police and fire departments to add stickers to all the machines across the country that have GPS coordinates of the machine attached to it. So when bystanders report an incident, they can say, oh, they can scan a code or they can report it in. So they know if they locate exactly where they are per that machine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I thought I had no idea. And I thought that was a really genius idea.
My friend's been shot. He's at the corner of Western and this weird M&M machine.
I'm at the Pop-Tart and 4th Street. If you can send an ambulance.
Right.
He's fallen off his scooter. Yeah. Another reason, another great feature, which again, I just learning about, but it makes so much sense, is, Japan is at high risk for natural disasters. There's been earthquakes, there's been tsunamis, all kinds of stuff. Being a small country, coastal country, it's very common to have stuff like power outages and things that disrupt the supply chain. So they added, this was after the Great Awaji, and I'm going to be butchering a lot of these Japanese names, so please forgive me. The Great Awaji Hanshin earthquake of 1995, it occurred in Kobe, which is in the southern part of the Hyogo prefecture. This quake measured 7 on the...
Is that where they get the beef?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's where it comes from. The quake was a 7 on the seismic intensity scale, so not small, and claimed the lives of over 5,000 people. This is a quote. Damage was widespread and severe. Structures irreparably damaged by the earthquake included nearly 400,000 buildings, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Numerous elevated... Yeah, right. Numerous elevated road and rail bridges and 120 of the 150 quays in the port of Kobe. And a quay is a wharf, basically. And the quake also triggered approximately 300 fires, which raged over the ports of the sea. So shit was fucked in 1995. So there was tons of disruptions. Not to belittle the loss of life, but I had forgotten about this Kobe earthquake because it was the year I graduated high school, because I'm an old person. So obviously, this triggered the notion of why can't we use something that's spread about to assist with this? So they have these machines that are built, especially in high risk areas, that can dispense drinks without the need of power. So no electrical power is needed to dispense the drinks. You can manually operate them. Others can act as information hubs. So they have radio broadcast or screens that will say what to do in a case of emergency. Others even have built-in Wi-Fi networks if the existing network is down. So people can use it as a Wi-Fi, almost like a repeater or a hub, so they can communicate. Yeah. That. So these things are like little disaster proof kind of safe havens, which is pretty neat. there was an article in 2023 in The Guardian that I read that in several vending machines in Ako or Ako, Japan, it's AKO. There's a coastal city, very vulnerable to earthquakes, are designed to unlock in the event of adverse threatening weather conditions. So these machines will dispense free water, soft drinks, and emergency food items for free during an emergency. So let's say, there's heavy rain coming in torrential or a disaster threat is in the area. These machines will automatically kick in to aid in the people that are in the area that their supply is cut off. So these machines are basically like giving out free aid, which is amazing. Very cool.
That seems like something that American companies would just never go for. You know what I mean? Like,
no, because we live in a backwards nightmare of a country. That's why.
That is exactly right. For all of the great things that our country has,
so many great things.
It's not surprising to me. It's just disappointing that other countries can seem to do these kinds of wonderful humanitarian things for their people. And there are some, and there's such simple things, right? Like that, like you just described, like this vending machine that in a disaster can act as an internet hub. It's got its own way to do that.
Yeah.
And it's got free drinks and free food, free emergency supplies or whatever as necessary. And, meanwhile, the vending machine over here is not happy that I'm using a debit card instead of a credit card. It's like, you ain't getting nothing, sir.
Well, it's amazing what you can do when you put money at just the same level of importance or even less as, the people that populate your country. So it's, that zing, take that establishment or whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, it's pretty great. I mean, and I see that across Europe too, where even with like public transportation and making things way easier for people to like, get about and make their lives livable. It's just like, oh, they considered all this stuff. It's great. Why don't we do this here? Oh, right. Because we're still stuck in the 1850s. So that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true.
We're having shootouts at the OK Corral, which, whatever. I digress. The point. So vending machines in Japan are also programmed to prevent the sale of alcohol and tobacco to minors. In 2000, vending machines nationwide were upgraded with age verification features where users must present their driver's license. And in some cases, they have a special card that they're issued as an adult that they can use in the machines to make an alcohol purchase. And in 2008, they have a contactless card that they issued to people. They were issued, like I said, to adults only. So tobacco cannot be purchased without that card. So you need a specific, I guess they're saying you need, just for the tobacco part, a specified card. Okay. That proves that you're an adult to buy. Now, I'm sure kids are like, hey, man, let me borrow your card. But whatever, it's the same thing. Yeah.
McLovin.
Yeah, McLovin. So, McLovin can get anything, so that's great. So basically, Japan has the vending machine industry on lock currently. They are everywhere. They do all these crazy things, and they go kind of beyond just snacks and drinks. Although they have a great variety of snacks and drinks, more than I'm not shocked about this, but like I'll just go through the list here. They have machines that are dedicated for desserts. So ice cream, desserts, sweets, cakes, little cookies and stuff that just do that. There's ones that have noodles. You can get ramen, udon, a ton of other choices. Some actually like you can customize it, add your own salts or your own spices, whatever. You'd love this one, of course, coffee. They have different kinds of espresso blends, cafe latte, cocoa, tea, iced or hot. You can even customize the amount of sugar, milk, and water. And I know a lot of there's places in America you can do this too, but
not out of a vending machine, right? Like it seems like.
I mean, there's one at my job that you can kind of do that. You can get different types of coffee drinks. It's like it's a pretty fancy one that we have in our break room, but it's not, I don't think it's as high tech as the ones that they're talking about in like Tokyo. There's ones you can get international cuisine. There's a machine, I think this is in one of the train stations in Tokyo that can sell stuff from like France, Hawaii, and Spain, like dishes, like meals from different, international cuisine.
I'd like to get a bowl of paella right out of this vending machine.
I hope you brought your own cup because it's very sloppy. There's
hold the shrimp, please.
Sandwich machines, which I know sandwich vending counters have been around since like the 50s and stuff. But this one you can get like bento boxes. And for those of you that don't know, a bento is a single portion meal, usually including rice, that comes in a segmented box, almost like a little divider.
Yep. My daughter actually has her own little bento box. She wanted one for Christmas one year. We added that to us in her stocking or whatever here. And she loved it. Because it's you open up, they're super cute. that you open them up and they're segmented. So you've got like a little place for vegetables, your rice, a little, an area for like sauce packets or stuff, utensils. It's super cool. It's definitely not made for American, like standard American foods. Like you wouldn't just open it up and throw a sandwich in there and maybe like a juice box.
I put a whole turkey in mine. It's also a tote that I got at Home Depot that I call
nice.
a bento
It's just
box.
it's a giant ass toolbox with.
That's my turkey tote, Caleb. I put wheels on it and just carry it.
Just don't open it. It hasn't been opened in a few days, and I forgot it in the car. You're
going to let the goodness out if you open it, Caleb. We got all them trimmings in there.
All
we have a bento
juices settled to the bottom.
Well, I think it's something that, like you're saying, that it's not for a lot of American. You're absolutely right, but I think we could learn a lot from that because it does help you with portion control, which is something that I struggle with.
100%. Except unless you pack like full fat mayo or something in each of the little packet sides.
You can't. Each box shouldn't be one thing. Like you shouldn't just have like this is my soda bento box. This is my pure mayo.
I love Kewpie mayo so much, man. I just squeezed it into each.
Well, this one's just filled with chocolate chips because I get hungry.
I need 7 bento boxes to go to work because each one is just, it's ludicrous. But
you have
a
shipping container's worth of bento boxes just following you everywhere you go.
This goes back to that earlier conversation about the droid that holds all your shit at Disneyland.
Oh man, I would love a droid to hold all my shit. That's such a good idea.
What's that? That's my droid. Don't open him. Don't touch him. Don't look at him.
That's my pack mule. So mayo bento boxes you can get out of the vending machines. I'm just kidding. They don't sell that. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Could you? I can't even imagine what that would be like. Just open up a bento box. It's just full of like room temperature mayo.
I'm getting to the point in my life where I can't even go to buffets anymore because the quantity of food really turns me off. Like I like food. Don't get me wrong. But if I see a tray of one thing that's way more than a normal portion of it, I'm like, all right, this is fine. I don't need this.
Do you need 4,000 scoops of scalloped potatoes?
There's so many. And I think it stemmed from when I worked in a prep kitchen in high school. I worked at a local supermarket. So I was in the back basically cutting up onions and opening cans of olives, which by the way, I hate olives to this day. And then giant 5-gallon like paint drums of mayonnaise for stuff. And it was like, this is too much of this in one place. It's so much.
When I think what always trips me up is when, you have some of those like industrial vats or whatever of like certain components or like things like, here is what I would think of as like a utility bucket, like, a paint bucket.
Yeah,
5-gallon.
That's exactly what it was. That's what the mayonnaise.
Yeah, and
like.
Except it's just full of like honey mustard, or
it becomes less appetizing. It's almost like when you watch porn. The bigger it gets, the less turned on you are. It's like if you watch it on like a movie screen, like this. I don't need to see this colonoscopy. I just need it's not good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where it's like the bigger it gets, the more grotesque it becomes.
I don't need to see my porn in IMAX. I need to see it on a tiny minimized window in the corner of a small screen.
Preferably not in public.
Yeah. Usually when I'm, at the grocery store. No, I'm kidding. Just when I'm waiting in line.
I love that. I'm just, I'm bored. I'm waiting in line. Throw up the old pH and let's see what's going on.
So this was a long-winded way of saying, watch your portions, kids, because America has a problem with it. So, be healthy. Anyway, these sandwich vending machines, they also have hot pot, which by the way, if you haven't had hot pot, fucking delicious.
Oh God. Hot pot is amazing.
Yes. So it's a nabe or nabe, N-A-B-E, hot pot or one pot dishes, usually stews and soups. You can get out of these machines as well, which I hope doesn't drop down because that would create a hot mess in your lap if that happens.
It just opens up like a big panel opens up and it just drops everything at once.
And they never evolved past the sake vending part, so there's no way to you have to bring your own vessel to carry all this shit in. It's like, nope, you're fully required to carry a Ziploc bag or whatever you got. Just go ahead.
It's like, yeah, please insert hands into this hole, and you put them in there, and then it just dumps hot pot all over your open hand.
It's so delicious, so painful. careful.
Yeah, cut to Paul Atreides with his hand in that box. Like,
Oh,
if you
God.
move, you die.
What is it called? The Doom fuck you box? I don't watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly
It's
what
the
Frank
fuck you
Herbert
box.
initially conceived it as. Yeah,
Why are we doing this, Beth Gesserit? Because fuck you. That's why, or whatever. Yeah,
Beth Gesserit. That's her actual name.
Nancy Gesserit, I think, is what her
she's
name
not.
is.
She's not like the head of the B'nai Gesserit. She's
Sure.
Beth Gesserit.
She's out of the
So-
beignet Jesuit. Well, by the way, in New Orleans, they should open up a beignet Jesuit. That would be pretty sweet.
Oh man, the tie-ins are endless.
A Dune themed beignet restaurant.
They're just worm shaped. They're
yeah.
Shai Hulud.
TM
Yeah, I'll take the
Distracto
Shai Hulud.
Podcast 2026 TM copyright, all rights reserved. Anyway, and also with the Disney stuff, but we probably would have to get permission for a droid thing. So sorry, Mr. Lucas.
We've just invoked Disney again, so
No,
they're
we
going to come
like
after us.
Disney. We are very big fans of it. Okay, anyway, so Caleb,
We are very fans.
getting back. This is what we do. We're distracted. We're distracting ourselves. Getting back to the machines. You've probably heard of Gachapon, correct? You know what that is?
No, actually.
So Gachapon actually derived from a term is the sound that it makes when these little capsules drop. So it's this gotcha, which is the pull of the leather, and lever rather, and pon, which is the sound that it makes, is where I read that the name was derived. They are
so like
hugely
that
popular
makes sense.
in Japan. Yeah, they're basically vending machines that carry like mini toys and accessories and souvenirs. So you go, and some of them are blind box, some of them are, you can like, oh, there's like a Dragon Ball themed one, or there's a Pokemon themed one.
Yeah. So when I was at Epcot down in Orlando over New Year's, I was actually there on New Year's night, and in the Japan Pavilion there is a set of probably 20 or 25 vending machines that are all dispensed like blind boxes and toys and stuff like that. My kids got
that's
something
probably
out of them.
a
So,
Gachapon.
a Gachapon.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I wasn't familiar with the word, but I have seen like big, and it's all really cool stuff in there. Like
Very
you
cool
could
stuff.
easily lose, $70, $80 in these vending machines without blinking. So
Yeah, that's okay. Your kids don't need to go to college. But it's so there's a sushi place that's by us, and it's a revolving sushi restaurant. So there's a conveyor belt. I don't know if you've ever been to one. These things are awesome.
I have.
This place is called okay. So yeah, this place is called Kura, Kur. I think they're a chain, but it's pretty close to where we are.
is it like in
Atlanta.
a strip mall?
It is in a strip mall. Yes.
Because I may have been to that exact location. I went with some people after Dragon Con one
Did
year.
it have the little robots that brought your drinks and everything?
I didn't see them, but it was literally, we all did sit next to like a conveyor belt, and you just grabbed whatever you wanted off of it. And yeah.
Well, there's a screen. You don't have, basically the only people you talk to is when your host who sits you, and then people that order your beverages. And that's it. And you don't talk to anybody else the rest of the time. They'll bring you your check, or I think you can get your check printed, but there's a screen, like an iPad style screen, and you order all the stuff. And then you put your plates in this little dispenser, and it tallies up what you've ordered. And again,
exactly.
like Caleb said, you pour it off, you pull it off a vending machine, and it scans the plates to know how much it is. It's great, especially if you don't like talking to people. But there in the one we go to, there's a little Gachapon mini vending machine that's associated with each booth seat that you can sit in. So if you spend X number of dollars, I think it was like 75 or 80, which for like going to a sushi place with 4 people, that's very easy to do.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It'll dispense a little toy. So like there's different themes for each month. And one time I got like a Dragon Ball thing. One time out there, I got a little sushi Lego set. You could build like a little nigiri roll out of
that's
Lego.
awesome. Yeah.
It was very, very cool. So like
That's
you get
super
this
cool.
So you're sitting there, you're eating, you're enjoying your sake and your sushi or whatever, and then your little ka-ching things happened, and then this thing comes out. You're like, I got a toy. So it's very cool. Yeah, it hits all the right cylinders for my dopamine levels on that one.
Well, and then people want to come back because they had a great time and ate. Who doesn't love a good sushi roll? Who doesn't love nigiri and all of the the sake and the cool.
Oh, it's great.
Just hanging out at a sushi place, especially one with like the conveyor belt style thing, or like
it's so fun.
There's so much fun. Yeah.
If you want to go next time you're in town, we'll go to it. It's great.
Absolutely, we're doing that.
So this is basically all your standard stuff you can buy in machines across Japan. But as I mentioned before, you can also buy some less standard stuff, some weirder shit, if you will. For example, and it seems like a lot of these specialized ones revolve around like train stations. So this is in Tokyo, in Shibuya Station.
Okay.
You can get fresh bananas. They're individually wrapped, fresh bananas that are kept at 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a singular banana. in a bag that you can get out of a vending machine.
So it's not your standard bowl of bananas at the Starbucks.
No,
counter,
it's not an entire hand of bananas, which would be also very funny. But no, it's just a standard banana. It's a cheap, healthy treat when you're on the go. So another one in Tokyo sells a dashi soup stock. So for those of you who don't know, dashi is a soy sauce infused with kelp and bonito flakes. It has a savory flavor. It uses a condiment for simmers and soups and stir fries and things like that. I think the place we went to in Chicago with the dumplings might have been a derivative of something like that, a little dipping sauce that had like pepper in it.
Good Lord, that stuff is so good. We're just going to brag about this dumpling shop in Chinatown, like in every episode. I think this is the second time we've mentioned
Dude,
it.
it's so good though. Yeah,
How can you not? I mean, like that. What was the one that we were both like, Jesus Christ, this is so good? It was like
it was the Kobe one, right? I think, right? Or the Wagyu.
Was it Kobe and truffle?
Oh, the truffle one. Yeah.
Like it was like,
it's really good.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I've only been there twice and it's been amazing both times. So good job. The name I can't pronounce place in Chinatown.
We're totally not doing them any service except bragging about how good it is, but we could have made this up,
And yes, I know dashi is Japanese and this is a Chinese place we're talking about, but I imagine like it's a similar kind of sauce you can dip stuff in. That was my point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this place sells these bottles of this soup stock, but inside each bottle, Caleb, there's a fried whole flying fish in each bottle. What the fuck?
Wait, just marinating in there?
Yeah, there's a flying fish, which I guess aren't very big because they're in a bottle of soy sauce stuff in this vending machine. I don't know if the fish is to eat later or is just like when you go to Mexico and buy tequila and there's a worm in it. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was very odd. And I'll send you links to all this stuff if you want to look at it. It's very weird.
Yeah, because I'm just envisioning this and I'm just kind of grossed out, like bits of the wing, eventually flake off and are just now part of the sauce,
Well, that's the flavor, Caleb. That's what you want. So
no thanks.
Yeah, that was one of the weirder ones. So have you heard of the area of town called Akibara? Akibara is
I have heard of that.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, it's very widely considered the center of otaku culture, and otaku is the name of the subculture. Basically, nerd shit. People who like manga, video games, cosplay, VR, anime, sci-fi, all that stuff. Akibara is located in the Chiyoda ward of Tokyo and nicknamed the Akibara Electric Town because it basically looks like Vegas on PCP. If you've seen pictures of Akibara, it's pretty. It sounds like a place that I would absolutely go ape shit crazy for. I would love it there because
it sounds to me like what I imagine the major town or city in Pokemon to be, or Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk is a good way. Yeah, I'm playing through that again, and it's very to me cyberpunky for sure. There's buildings, lots of lights, lots of neon, lots of noise, and hustle bustle and stuff. So in Akibara, this is another kind of like internet rabbit hole I went down. There's a supposed group of quote unquote cursed vending machines tucked away in a small corner shop area of Akibara.
Absolutely my kind of vibe. Yeah. I would totally be buying shit out of all of them.
Dude, I want to check this place out. So there's an article from Unseen Japan, which I guess is like, a weird,
Atlas Obscura for America.
That was what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Caleb. The quote, they're tucked inside this small storefront around a corner. And the quote is, they look like vending machines you might expect to encounter in hell. So I hope...
You're not dissuading me from using these. This is exactly what I want.
If anything, you're selling even more. This is great.
Tell me more, please.
So this has also been dubbed the scary vending machine corner or the crazy vending machine corner. And this is, again, I'm reading from this article. They're basically older rotting machines that have kind of like been, shuffled off to the wayside. They're not like the more high technology ones. But what they sell that's just kind of all over the place. So they sell canned goods, like a can of chicken yakitori with a 5-year expiration date, a can of oden, which is like veggies and meats boiled in a dashi soup. We talked about dashi just a second ago. And there's a taped over jar containing plastic bugs in it. So you could buy, lunch and also bugs if you want, toy bugs. The prices are also all over the map. So the yakitori chicken goes for about 900 yen, which is about $6 US. When it would retail normally for $3. The jar of bugs will run you $20 for some reason. This is, again, 2,990 yen. they have like these blind boxes that just are wrapped in like a newspaper clipping with like one had a communist manifesto written on it, and inside it was like a box of animal crackers. Like it's very strange. Like, I'll send you the links to all this stuff.
So weird.
There was one about a guy. There's a story about a guy who thought he was buying an erotic video featuring a porn star named Sakuragi Rui, who her name is misspelled on the package, and her secret technique in quotes, but it turned out just to be a video of a soccer player named Rui Ramos.
Gotcha.
Very, very weird stuff. And then the weirdest one, or the most unique one, I thought, was a old school rotary phone with all the labels written in Japanese, and it read, "This is 110, the emergency line," on it, which is labeled on the phone. And for this phone, it's 1 million yen, which works out to be $6,389 US for a rotary phone.
For an old ass rotary phone.
Why?
You know. The best part is that it's all in a vending machine. It's not like you're just at like some needful things, cursed items store, you know, and
it might as well just be that. I need one of Pan's horns, a cursed monkey paw. Oh yeah, and there's some yakitori. I'm kind of hungry, so I'm gonna.
Do you guys have a hand of glory? I need one of those too. You know.
I would also like a sonic screwdriver. I think there's one in there as well.
A lightsaber
and
perhaps
an unobtainium. Oh, there has a vial of unobtainium.
I would love the horn of Gondor, please. You know, like.
They're basically like mini vending machines of requirement, although nobody requires any of the things in it that they're selling. Nope. So yeah, it's just like, here's all our shit that we don't need. Do you figure it out?
Exactly.
So that was definitely, if I'm ever in Japan, which I do hope to get there, I'm definitely going to Akibara and finding this crazy corner of the city. So other weird things you can buy, umbrellas. In the Osaka station, in JR Shin Osaka station, there's a company called WPC that launched its first ever umbrella vending machine. They were trying to make umbrellas more accessible and enjoyable, which I don't see you
enjoying umbrellas. Yeah, like
unless they're the ones from Blade Runner that have the cool like lightsaber handles. Those are pretty neat.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But so many Japanese folks carry folding umbrellas. Overseas tourists often don't bring them with them. So having a convenient way for them to get an umbrella, they said, why not put them in a machine? So that's pretty sweet. They have that. Flowers, which actually not a bad idea. Shinjuku Station, again, has a flower vending machine. So this was a limited time collaboration between two florist companies, Hibiya and Keidan Style and Land Flora. And they basically operate 24 hours, and they have selection of fresh flowers that cost anywhere between 500 to 3,000 yen. So you could buy your partner, your friend, a housewarming gift. Just get a bouquet of flowers out of one of these machines.
Nice. Well, it makes it convenient too. You know, you're not always going into like, you know, like around here, we don't really have too many florists. So like we would get our flowers at like a grocery store. Like in Chicago area here, we have Jewel Osco as a main company, and they're like West Coast, they're called Albertsons. I'm not sure if they're on the East Coast too, but yeah, you go in there and they have like a little floral department. You grab, you know, whatever roses or, you know, flowers you want, you know, for the occasion. But having them like at a airport or at a train station, someplace where there's like a mass transit hub, it makes it easier for out of town guests to get a nice like housewarming gift, or just a courtesy, like, thanks for having me for dinner. Here's some flowers, or here's a bottle of wine.
Now I have heard them in airports in the US. I think some of them do have flower. I think there might be one in Hartsfield in Atlanta. So, I mean, it is the busiest airport in the world, so it makes sense. But I think there are starting to crop up.
There was a nice, in the international terminal at O'Hare, when I flew home from England, there was a licorice vending machine. And it sold like boutique licorice, and they came in like little cardboard tubes with nice little lids and stuff like that. They were kind of expensive. It would be like, you know, the equivalent of like...
Did you buy the flying fish flavored one, or was that not?
Yeah, absolutely. There was definitely a flying fried fish marinating in the bottom of my licorice tube.
That's the dark side of Twizzlers, everybody. That one. It's pretty bad.
Surprise. Oops. All flying fish.
So you mentioned, speaking of not that, but you mentioned the stamp machine earlier. They have one that does business cards. So you can basically make your own custom business card in like no time at all. For you can get 30 pieces of 30 singular cards for 1,000 yen. You can basically, because business card culture is also pretty big in Japan. There's a whole etiquette revolving around how you give a business card. A couple examples are you have to give and receive business cards with both hands. So if you meet somebody that presents your card, you have to almost like offer it to them, like, here you go, like a very respectfully. And then
Right,
it is mandatory to give the card in a direction that allows the receiver to read the card. So I guess face up would be my guess for that. So here's a card, just wing it at his head, like, go figure it out, fuckface.
Yeah. Which is funny because like over here, I used to have, when I'd be at a convention, I would have business cards on my table for people who just wanted to grab my info, check out my website or socials, later. But the problem is that you'd spend, I'd make 1,000 business cards at a time, and then I'd do one show and 80% of them would be gone. And I would get so little actual return for those cards. It's like I stopped just giving them out and started making them something that people had to ask for. And that helped, but I still bled out. So it was like I was giving out all these cards and they were such an expense. And I stopped giving them out. But QR code to go to my website and all that.
And you love tattoos, and you got that QR code tattooed on your left butt cheek, and people really love scanning that. So that's great.
Yeah. But the problem is I get slapped so many times right on the ass as a result. And, when it swells up, it doesn't read right through the phone.
It takes you to a different website when it's red.
Yeah. That's when it goes to girthcaleb.net, So, oh no, it was .fun. It was girthcaleb.fun. That's what I have a whole story about that.
Not .sucks.
That's moistlanta.sucks, Yeah, but we can save that story for another episode.
I love the .sucks ending. It's so funny. Anyway, so business cards. You basically, I'm new. I started a new job, or I'm visiting and I need to like exchange. I forgot my cards. This is a great way to do that. So they have that. You can also buy bras out of a vending machine. So this is also a recent sort of thing, a limited time collab with Wacoal, WACOAL specialty shop. And it's inside the Shibuya Parco fashion department store, and women can, or men, whatever, can buy bras out of a machine. So that's pretty cool. They're a women's lingerie manufacturer that put this together, but I mean, I don't think it checks your gender or your preferences. I think you just go buy a bra if you wanted one.
I think you just walk in and go, I need a 34C.
Yep. Boop, boop, I mean, I need something to hold my soup in that I bought. So yeah. And this has 2 cups, which is nice.
It's right next to that dashi machine. So, or like the one that the hot pot machine. So insert both hands.
Put the flying fish in one cup and the dashi in the other. Right. I got to separate.
And if I slosh them around, I can drink both at once,
Yeah. See, they're so efficient. Last of the weird ones is a date. This is a dating machine. So, I mean, I couldn't find a lot of like customer use cases, testimonials, I guess would be the best way to put it. So
this machine sucks.
I'm reading from the website here. So while they may or may not be as common, there are also machines for things like dating, where one can find information about potential dates after inserting 1,000 yen. In the Kamata neighborhood in Tokyo, it's Kamata, you can purchase different color cans of love, quote unquote. Pink represent women, beige represent men. Each costs 3,000 yen, which is about $18 to $20 US, and provides a voucher for a 1-hour interview and advice session with a matching advisor press representative. MAP, it's a matchmaking service in Japan for singles. So the name of these people's name is also written on the can. Ostensibly, if you see you're an amicable match for the single whose can you bought, you are then MAP will arrange a 3-hour dinner date for the two of you with an additional 9,000 yen service fee, plus any associated food and drink costs to be paid by you. Again, the details of the particulars are not really well documented in my reading, but it seems like you're basically paying for a matchmaking service from a vending machine, which is, all right. I mean, it's kind of cool, right?
But with the added step of having a colored can. I love that men is beige. Like, yeah, you guys are super boring.
I guess it should be blue. You always think traditionally it's blue, but no, apparently men are beige in Japan. So as per this vending machine. But I kind of like the idea of, I know that, people are out there and meeting people in this day and age is progressively difficult, especially connecting, even though you have so many apps to connect with, but you're not really like sitting down with that person. And I'm very old fashioned. I like,
Of course.
seeing someone and talking to them and not just swiping right or left or whatever on a thing. So anyway, so I thought that was pretty wild and interesting that they did that. Now, Caleb, what do you think is the most talked about thing in a vending machine in Japan that you've heard through all of your stories?
Anal beads.
Well, you're in the right ballpark. It's not
Okay.
anal beads though.
Because I was just trying to think like, man, I need my Godzilla anal beads and I left them at home. Oh, thank God there's this vending machine.
Well, thank God you have one in your new house. No, there's a
Shh. I don't want people coming over.
there's a beaded curtain section like in the old video stores from the 90s where the adults are only allowed to enter, and that's where Caleb has his kaiju themed anal bead vending machines.
It's a collection.
So the story that I always get is, in Japan you could buy used panties out of vending machines.
Oh, God.
That's
Okay.
my impression of everyone that's ever told me that.
Right.
So and again, so I'm intrigued, so I looked it up, and yes and no, you can, but it's also a little misleading. So
I cannot wait for you to unpack this entire idea.
I will say, yes, you can buy ladies' panties out of vending machines in certain areas of Japan. There was they interviewed a store clerk in Akibara, and this is from tekkanasia.com website that I found. And he works at one of these stores that have a lot of vending machines. And he said that in the 90s and early 2000s, shops were known to sell schoolgirl uniforms and underwear, presumably used from female users. These machines catered to a sexual fetish called burusera, Burusera, which basically refers to people that like schoolgirl uniform kind of porn, that kind of thing. So
that's their kink.
That's their kink,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
So
I love that they did this in a vending machine. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing to have a shop where you could go and do this.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, let's just super convenience this so we don't have to deal with these people. They can just come in, get their things, and leave. you
well, I'd
know?
imagine too, it saves face for the customer. Like maybe you're embarrassed about your kink at the time and you don't want anyone to know that you're spending a bunch of yen on used panties.
But the fact that they have made a vending machine shows the massive need to do such a thing.
Dude,
You know,
I'm telling you, man, they have it on lock over there, dude. I'm telling you, they know exactly what they're doing. So anyway, for a time, they contended these machines would contain these fetish items. However, in '94, there were legal restrictions placed on the selling of items of a sexual nature to or by anyone under 18. Apparently, someone got in hot water of advertising. I don't know whether it was actually true or not. They said there was a girl that was younger than 18 that was selling her used underwear, blah, blah, blah. So even though the items themselves aren't considered porn or pornographic,
but it's the
it
implication.
teetered on the line
Yeah.
of child abuse and
Yep.
those kind of things. And they were like,
100%.
nope, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. So in 2004, prefectures enforced all these regulations across the country that restricted purchases of sale of used underwear and saliva for people under the age of 18, because apparently
Ooh.
that was a thing you could have bought.
Oh, no.
So here's the big addendum to that. However, you can still buy panties in vending machines in Japan, typically at sex shops or adult entertainment areas across the country. The caveat is that they are not, in fact, used. But they are factory new underwear that are often treated with scents, gross, and textures to appear and smell used. So
Oh, my God.
cool, I guess.
Hey,
It's not
man,
my
I
kink,
think
but,
half the
whatever
kink
you're into, man.
is acquiring them from an actual person who's, like, you're not just commodifying it. It's like, oh, I've got my favorite
Yeah.
performer's, soiled pair, or I've got, an item from this particular person. Not like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
I just went down to like, Michigan Avenue and walked past, like there was a Bennigan's, and then right in the alley between Bennigan's and like Aubon Payne, I decided to get like some used panties out of a vending machine.
I thought that was very strange when I visited the Harry Potter store that they were selling Dumbledore's used underwear, and I bought several pairs because
was that under his special clothing line? Like
it was Dongledore was the clothing line that he did,
I
because
was gonna
apparently
say
he's hung
Doodle
he's got a
Dang
big
or
wand, if you know what I mean.
They call it the Elder Wand.
They did. Well, it wasn't always Zelda, if you know what I mean. He was quite the looter back in the day. So yeah, you can still buy. I think these are primarily for tourists. Now, I did read part of an article where one of the shopkeepers had a machine that advertised as used panties in heavily quotation, but then on the bottom was like, these aren't actually used panties, they're actually from a factory. So it's like, yeah, it's not there, these are new.
Yeah,
Just,
anything that's in quotes,
Yeah.
you immediately go, it's not whatever it says it is. Yeah.
But if you're a tourist visiting from another country and you don't read Japanese or know very little Japanese, and you see it and they have the English portion that says used panties, and then below it's all in kanji, it's just like, nah, dude, these aren't used. Kidding me? We get sued. This is crazy. So we get arrested.
Watch the white people buy this shit.
Exactly. I think this is what the market is mostly for. Because they had interviewed in this article some German tourist that was like giggling. It's like, yeah, you can go right up here and get it, which is like whatever. So you know what? Again,
Wow.
whatever you're into, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I'm
Yeah,
cool with
I
it.
think that's the thing. I mean, I totally get and would be supportive of legislature about like the schoolgirl stuff, because that,
Sure.
to me, it's definitely borderline on the little girl kind of pedophilia.
And that's exactly
line.
what they were going through. Yeah, with that.
Yeah, so that totally makes sense. But like, you know what? Adults doing that with other adults, I don't have any problem with that. Like, explore your kinks and be fun, but be safe and don't be stupid.
Oh yeah, totally. And in the early days of this, it was really, they were really playing fast and loose with that, really catering to that authentic schoolgirl kink that people had. And it's
Sure.
like, I mean, the porn industry does it today. If you go on any porn site, it's like, oh, barely legal
Yeah,
and all this
absolutely.
kind of shit. So it's like,
Right.
whatever. And so yes, you can, but it's not the way it used to be. So there you go. So basically, yeah, vending machines are everywhere, even as such extreme locations as Mount Fuji Summit, which is 3,000 meters or 12,388 feet above sea level, and in the snowy remote region of Hokkaido, there's vending machines that go up there too. So you can go to Mount Fuji and get stuff out of vending machines, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Because that's what I think of when I want the Mount Fuji experience. I want this stunner, of a view in front of me. Like, man, look at the majesty of this earth and this massive, holy mountain. And then, shit, you know what? I need a Slurpee.
Shit, I'm out of bras. I need this bra here.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Whatever. Which
Yeah.
basically, and I sent you the link to this. Speaking of the remote locations, because they're so part of Japanese culture and they're so ingrained in, their lifestyle, whatever. I love it when an artist, and there's a couple artists that I follow that Simon Stallenhag comes to mind. I think he's a Swedish artist who Tales from the Loop was from, and he does these.
I loved that.
Yeah, it's great. They're like these consumerism, but also like in disrepair, but this post-apocalyptic sort of neon beauty, which is great. And there's a photographer in Japan, and I'm going to butcher his name, and I'm so sorry that I'm going to butcher his name. It is Eiji, and it's spelled Eiji, Ohashi. So that's Ohashi. He's a photographer who documents Japan's, quote, lonely vending machine. So he basically has a whole book called Roadside Lights, which you can buy, I think, online. And they're a collection of images of these machines in these beautiful locations that are just out in the middle of nowhere. But it's like, again, like what Caleb said earlier, you have this majestic beauty of Mount Fuji, but it's like in the foreground, there's like, a sake machine or something. But
right. The neon lights
Yeah.
are totally like alien to this beautiful monument in nature. Yeah.
The dichotomy of these amazingly remote, beautiful, quiet, intimate spaces, and then this weird neon lit piece of automation that's just sitting out in the middle of, like, there's one that's like almost like you're in the middle of like a glacial flat area, kind of like this. I don't know what it is. It's like, it might be even the parking lot or something, but it's all filled with snow. There's nothing around for miles. But this one, I don't even know how it's getting power. Like, I don't even know where the power source is, but it's just this little thing that's just lighting up this singular part of this expanse. And I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, go check his work out immediately. It's really great. If you like that kind of photography or any photography, they're all really well shot.
Yeah. It almost feels like these liminal spaces. And then here is this, the only other thing that you'll ever meet in this area, in this space for presumably forever, is this little vending machine. And it feels so surreal and so not like real life, yet here, these are photographs from real life,
And Ohashi quotes in the foreword of his book, he says, "In the context of my work, I hope that the viewer's interpretation will transform the concrete image, the landscape with vending machine, into the abstract, so that the meaning can break free from the conventions of photography and remain indistinct and vivid." So I think that's a perfect way to describe his work. It's really beautiful. It really is. And it sounds weird. Oh, those are pictures of vending machine, but it's the context, the surrounding. It's really great.
No, but yeah, the art in the composition of the photos, the colors, the time of day that they were taken, all of that really emphasizes the loneliness of the machine. And yeah, he's right. These do feel lonely. They almost like the vending machines are almost like little droids, like in Star Wars, that have their own personality. And then here's this loneliness associated with them, because there's no people in any of these photos, whether background or foreground or anything. So it's definitely gives you that sense of abandoned places where there should be life. And so it's very, very lonely.
Post-apocalyptic, but like also like, oh, there's signs of recent human activity. Like everybody got raptured at the same time,
right?
Or
exactly.
abducted by another race of aliens or something.
Right.
Yeah, it's very. I love it. I want to actually. I'm actually thinking about buying this book.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's really great. Anyway, so Caleb, that was my whole rundown on the Japanese video or vending machine culture, and I hope I at least had a nice variety of things.
Dude, this was great
to discuss.
This was so much fun. Yeah, just thinking of all the weird stuff, and I've seen other I see a lot of vending machines in airports, of course, because I travel a lot.
Sure.
So I've seen Lego vending machines, I've seen Apple product vending machines. Those are all they seem
phone charger stuff like that.
Like that, because they're things that you would need for essentials, or oh shit, I forgot to get my kid a gift. Here's the Lego vending machine, and that's kind of cool. And I totally understand. So a lot of those things that you mentioned, although weird, like the hot pot, vending machine, I'm not sure,
I mean, I would absolutely have a hot pot out of a vending machine for sure. In Japan.
I would try. I mean, I would love any of these. I would love the the $3,000 or whatever rotary phone out of a vending machine. That's right. That's what it was
for a rotary phone.
But it's.
I would like the weirdo Communist Manifesto video of a soccer player.
Well, it's funny because that's very similar to a couple years ago. My friend Scott Blair, who is a fellow illustrator, yes,
R.I.P.
absolutely,
Scott Blair.
We miss you, Scott. He and I and several other artists, we went to Chinatown after the Chicago Comic-Con one night, and we all went down there, and one of the people in the group bought little gifts for all of us. And so we got these like newspaper wrapped blind box kind of things. And just like you were describing, and mine, I opened mine up and it was
so fun.
Really, really shitty plastic Barbie that wasn't a real Barbie. But the best part was is she was missing one of her legs, and it was a factory sealed box.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I don't know I don't even know why it was disassembled, and you get to assemble it yourself. And I'm popping joints into this naked Barbie doll. And then it was super weird.
Well, now it's a scavenger hunt, Caleb. Does anyone have the other leg?
It was so weird, but I remember that pretty vividly because of just the weirdness of the presentation. Here's a gift, Caleb, and it's wrapped in yellowed newspaper. So who knows how long it was sitting out there, but.
Cut to a week later, and someone else goes to that store and gets a box, and it's just the leg that your doll was missing. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Thanks. I just got Luke Skywalker's severed arm from, a severed hand from Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool ones all over, and I just did Japan for this episode, but there was a video of one, and I don't remember where this one is, that makes actually a whole pizza from scratch in this vending machine. So it takes obviously time. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, but it does everything from kneading the dough to adding the sauce, and I don't know if you can customize it wildly. I'm sure they have toppings and things, but it cooks a pizza for you and spits it out on a tray for you. And
that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what you can use to catch the hot pot.
What it is. Yeah, well, you just need to bring your own vessel of some kind, whether it's your turkey tote from Home Depot or your bra that you can scoop stuff into. Anyway, but so I thought that was a really fun rabbit hole. It wasn't my original topic for today, but I got distracted because, ADD brain being as it is.
It's okay.
I decided to present to you.
You know what though? I schedules are loosey, man. Whatever's jumping out at you and screaming, talk about me, that I'm all for it.
Dude, I'm on my Google Drive all the time writing topics, ideas down. So it's anyway, but that's it. That's all we have. That's all I have for this week. And Caleb, thank you for your delightful insight and humor as always.
Well, thanks. I feel like I feel thoroughly entertained and educated here, knowing that the Egyptians made the first, quote unquote vending machine. So, I just want to, I want to find the hieroglyphics where it's like people are waiting in line because like this one person can't figure out how to operate the holy water vending machine.
Just cost one Nile Ibis Anubis picture, and then you put it in there.
I got papyrus to flatten. Get me out of here.
Damn these reeds, they won't go into the slot. Anyway. So, hey, once again, I know we're just starting this whole venture, and we really want to thank everybody who decided to give us a listen, even if it's out of friend or family obligation. We really thank you for that. And we hope that we're somewhat entertaining to you guys.
Or at least vaguely not annoying. Either one. I'll settle for either one.
The very low bar that we can reach is vaguely not annoying. So even if you want to give us 5 stars and write vaguely not annoying in the comment, that would be also acceptable. So thank you.
We would also accept the phrase "God damn it" as a description of the podcast. So
no, that's reserved for a very special beverage we will get into. I'll do a whole episode on that thing because that's great. Do. It's my favorite thing ever. That's a teaser. So again, please like and subscribe. We're on Spotify, YouTube, distractopod at gmail.com. If you have any suggestions or questions, like us on Instagram. I don't think we have our TikTok up yet, but it's getting there.
No, tell your mom about us.
Tell your mom, tell your other family members, tell your other people's family members, please.
Be annoying about it. Really get in their face about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell your local vending machine repairman about us and see what they think. Anyway, well, thank you guys. Once again, remember, Distracto can't solve your problems,
but it can distract you from them.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Caleb.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye. We love you.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, you there! Yes, you. Do you feel bored? Restless? Are you filled with an overwhelming sense of impending dread by a society on the brink of collapse? Are you looking for a brief moment of escape from the nightmare hellscape our daily lives have become? Well, have no fear! Distracto is here! What is Distracto, you ask? Why, Distracto is a podcast and so much more. Distracto is your dose of distraction from the drudgery of the daily dumpster fire. If you like pop culture, reviews, comedy, deep dives, interviews, or going down internet rabbit holes that just might get you put on a list, then Distracto is the podcast for you. Join hosts Caleb and Brian each week as they delve into delightful and deranged topics that'll make you briefly forget that the world is on fire. Subscribe to Distracto today, where all fine podcasts are found. Follow us on social media at DistractoPod on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Or contact us directly at distractopod@gmail.com. Remember, Distracto can't solve your problems, but it can distract you from them.